Hi guys, here's Riccardo Fasoli from Creative Wedding, and I'm a wedding videographer based in Germany. I'm from Italy, so sorry for my English, it is what it is. I hope that you can understand me. I'm doing this small video to show you the new Color Finale 2. I'm a user of Color Finale since the beginning. I loved the way how I can control the color correction and the color grading in my videos. And as you know, at the beginning, Final Cut didn't have nothing so good for color correction, color grading. After they introduced their way, their wheels, the curves and everything, but every time I didn't like so much the workflow with in Final Cut. So I went on every time with Color Finale. If you follow some of my workshop or videos, what I've done, you see that every time I'm using for grading, color correction and everything, I'm using Color Finale. Now Color Finale 2 is out and is everything what I missed from the first version. It's everything there and much more of what I needed. So let's jump inside and watch fast what there's new there. Let's go. So here we are in Final Cut. Here I've got a nice footage, a nice frame from a couple. So I put the new Color Finale 2 on the clip. I applied, and already here you can see it, that there's this new interface. We have a new interface here where there are some basic, a lot of sliders that we will watch one by one. And here we have the edit layers, and here we can see that we have the new, if someone of you knows already the older Color Finale, there's every time this kind of floating window that has all these tools that helps to color correction, to manage the color in the video. Yeah, there are some big changing here inside. We will watch it soon. And yes, this is how it looks. So now let's try to go inside and understand exactly what there's new and what there's old and better, and why I love so much this plugin. So at the beginning, with the old version of Color Finale, I was used to have other plugins or layers of stuff that helped me to be a little bit faster for some basic correction that I wanted to do on the footage. Now with this new one, we have this fantastic window here in the inspector. Every time open when I apply Color Finale, that helped me to make all the basic things. We have the color management that helps like the Color Finale Pro to, if you have some log footage or you want to have something a little bit faster with the access. I don't use it. I like to correct manually the image, but it's there if you are used to use it. We have the exposure here. So here we have a nice exposure, works in stops. We have the contrast, a really nice contrast where you can control the pivot. We have the white balance with a picker, auto white balance. So here if we click, it makes a auto white balance, as you can see. Or I can use the picker and click on a white source and get the white balance based on gray card or white source. We have so temperature, the tint, the saturation, everything is here. then this is already, well, only with these things you can already correct the image. So for example, this image, to correct it, I would add the contrast to try to get the shadow almost touching the zero. I would adjust a little bit the temperature, and I put away a little bit of saturation in this case because I want a little bit less saturated this image. And like this I can make already a color correction in my footage. Very easy with the before and the after, only with some sliders here. So let's take a look at the layers, the edit layers. So with the layers we have the window here, but in this version we have the possibility to change the size how we wanted, to have it bigger or smaller. I find really good these things, especially when you're working on the curves. The curves, as you can see, they are much bigger now, and you can make some really fine-tune adjustment. Another things new that we have is the picker, so we can understand where is a color in all the curves, only with clicking on the picker. So let's reset all here. Another things change in the curves, we have this kind of selection, master and RGB, Luma and RGB, Luma per serving. So this two, the things that you have to know, that for example the curve of Final Cut, this curve here, if we are going here, color curves, this curve here, normally it seems that everything is the same of the curve of color finale, but they are not the same, because it's only this master curve is not only doing the Luma. So if we see it here, is on the vectors, is not touching the saturation of the image. It's touching only the contrast. Say, now I'm doing something a bit strong, but it's okay, only to see it a little bit, is doing only Luma. If we go in this curve, we have the possibility to choose between master and Luma curve. So the master curve, as you can see now, when I'm adding a S curve, also the saturation is changing, because it's touching the luminance and the saturation of the footage. So master plus RGB or Luma plus RGB. Luma per serving is not changing the luminance of the image. Okay, this is a change. Before, in the old color finale, there was only the master curve. Now you have also this kind of new things. Another things new is on the wheel. On the wheel we have the possibility to control also the saturation of the highlights, midtones and shadow. It's really good. Then what we have the picker on the HSL curve. So we have the picker with some different way to apply the curve on the play. So we have this kind of curve. We have softer curve. So there are some small changing there. So we done now the bride and the groom, that they look like Hulk. Okay, let's go back. Reset all. Then what we have new here, we have these things. That is a insert group. This is cool if you are you think you have different kind of grading, different kind of color correction, I don't know, some different kind of taste in the footage, and you are not sure, you can make some groups where you can put all the layer that you've done all together and activate it or deactivate it. This is also good for organization. It's nice. So let's put everything away. And here we have all our LUTs and preset. So here in the LUTs, we have again the LUTs gallery. As you can see here, we have all our LUTs, but we can watch it smaller or bigger. Everything what happened, or we have the preset. So let's 1 second deactivate all the things what I've done before. So cancel like this. We can see how it looks a little bit, the LUTs and the preset without all this correction that I've done. Because my LUTs they are done to make everything. So for example, this shot, it was done with the A7S A7 III. Here I have our LUT. I apply it and bam, the footage, it looks already like this, has the right contrast and the right saturation. So this is before and after of the LUTs. Here we have the possibility to control the opacity of this layer. Every layer you can change the opacity. And there's also the blending mode of the layer. Also interesting. Every time here we have also our preset. So if you bought already some of the preset, they are 2-pack at the moment. Probably they are going to add others. Here they are what I created. I think that already 2 years. If I take one of them, I can choose also here the preview, so I can see how it looks. The preset, I can make it bigger. And you can see it's really fast and nice and smooth. So like this, I go to, for example, for Osmara, and I apply it. What is the difference between the preset and the LUTs? But in the preset you can see everything what happened in the to get this kind of result. So here, if you open, you have Osmara, that is the name of this preset. You open inside and you can see everything what happened. You can see the curves, how they were done. It's good to understand a little bit how this kind of grade it was done. And every one of them you can change it as you like. It's really nice. And you can see it's a group, and you can activate it and deactivate it. This is the LUTs and the preset. Another really cool things that there's in this new color finale, it's the possibility to track mask, so to have a tracking. Here you can see that there's this kind of new box. So if I, for example, I take the wheels here, and here it comes this kind of is activated, this kind of box. If I click on it, it comes near the layer here, and I click again, I have this new window, this new control things. Here on the screen we have different way to make a mask. So for example, so I draw a mask on the face of the groom, like this, and here we have some control. For example, we can see here under that there's like a timeline. These are all the frames of the footage, and in this moment I am in this point of the frame. Let's say, okay, let's track it forward. put away the audio better. Okay, we can track it backward. Okay, let's stop it. It's only to show you a little bit. As we can see, it's track. Now let's go on the color wheel. So let's go here, and for example, I want to desaturate the face. Desaturate. Let's see a little bit the change. Let's make a little bit more like this, and I put away. And now we can change also the softness of the mask. You can see, and if we can scroll, you see that the mask is really good track. It's really good. This is something that was only in DaVinci, and now we have it here. You know, when you want to change a little bit the color of the sky, or change some element in the footage as a color, this is really good, and it's really powerful, and it works really smooth. I really like it. So this was the tracking, a new fantastic tool. Okay, let's say that now we are doing some small fine tuning because the image, we like it like this, we like how it is. Now let's make some small fine tuning, and here we have a fantastic thing, that is the sharpness. The sharpness, it's something that Final Cut is still missing. Final Cut has a really horrible sharper plugin effect. So if you try to apply it to the image, it adds contrast in the image, and it doesn't apply the contrast. So only to show you 1 second, so I don't touch this sharpness. Let's look for the sharpen. So here it is. This is the sharpness of Final Cut. As you can see now, I add it, and what it's doing is adding contrast in the image, and for this reason I could never use it. I had to use other plugin to get a good sharpness. Now with the new Color Finale, they done a great job with creating a really good and smooth sharpness. As you can see, is add only sharpness, not a contrast on the image. If I put it also at 100%, the image, it looks now it's over sharped, but it looks still usable. I add every time a little bit of sharpness. So not every time, but most of the time I'm using a little bit of sharpness to make the image a little bit more crispy, and this sharpness is really good. Another things, we have the image analysis. So here you see, you can open. We have something. So we have the false color. So makes this, I never use it, but we have it. But here we have something that I use it really often. It's these things that helps to see in the scopes. You see here our vectors, where is this color. Here I understand, for example, how is the skin tone. In this case, I have the feeling that the skin tone is slightly a little bit more on the yellow side, and like this I could correct it and bring it a little bit more on the red side with this tool. It's really useful. I like it. When we have the color chart, this is we had also in the old color finale. It's really good if you have a passport color checker. Yeah, it's really good. Then new we have the film emulation. Film emulation, it's nothing else than grain, but it's a beautiful grain because we have a lot of control to make exactly the kind of grain that we would like to have. As you can see, we have a lot of sliders here to make a grain that you like. So now let's make one that I find that it could be cool for this kind of footage, like this, for example. So this is before and after the grain. I don't know if with the compression of the video you can see the result of the image. So this is a before and after. If I like it, I copy. Let's put everything what I've done on this image. I like it. It's nice. I want a little bit lighter. I want to make some small changing faster. Let's go on the clip before. Let's make it a little bit, if I want a little bit more contrast, a little bit less saturation. It's really good. Before I had to jump right and left on other plugins and other software, and now we have everything here. So guys, I hope that you like it, how I like this plugin. I really suggest you, if you are a Final Cut user and you like color correction and color grading, it's a small almost a small DaVinci inside Final Cut. So guys, that is for now. Probably I'm going to do other small videos, tutorial, and maybe some small color grading tutorial on YouTube in the next time. So see you at the next. Ciao!